So where's the status? We've already presented to leading institutions in India. The version 1.0 is about to be, we presented with a dummy prototype though. First week of October, 2 pilot customers have already signed up. We are extending to corporates and media extensions are also possible. That's as we stand today. And so far it's been fantastically engineered. That's where the focus is. Thank you.
So, I like it.
All right. Thank you.
Question is, but I have a lot of feedback for you. First and foremost, is there any competitive offering? Have you done?
Yeah, see, there are two things. There is someone called Alumni Magnet based out of US. As I'm talking to you, they're based out of Boston, who have actually powered the websites of Harvard, MIT, and so on and so forth. But again, they belong to more of a website development player than a package solution to the alma mater, unlike us.
Okay. So, so let me go through a bunch of different types of feedback. This is something that I know really well because I was very active in running the MIT Alumni Association here in Northern California.
All right.
And it's a nightmare to run an alumni association, okay? Because typically, architecturally, one thing you need to keep in mind is there is the alumni association that's run out of the institute itself, and then there are chapters. All these chapters typically are volunteer run, and they don't have IT support.
Correct.
And then there is the consumer. You have focused a lot of energy on the consumer, on the consumer's needs, but you need to also think about the other two constituencies, the institution itself, and then the chapters. And these are not the same. The chapters, for instance, are not going to be the people buying the solution. It's the institution that's going to buy. I think you're charging very little to the institution. If you look at a US institution, their entire endowment depends on the alumni association, on the alumni network. So you are talking about billions. You're talking about at least hundreds of millions of dollars that you could potentially manage on their behalf. Go ahead.
Yeah, I understand. Point valid. I think it's
You're using the Indian schools. That's why your benchmark is low.
I do understand that there is a couple of things which I missed out here. We have given institutional connect very strongly, although it is my fault that it didn't come out well in the presentation. Another thing which we've done is we've given a very, very strong faculty alma mater engagement. Suppose a faculty wants to write about depression economics.
No, listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. You need to identify what is the primary value proposition. There's all sorts of secondary value propositions but for each category you need to identify the primary value proposition. The primary value proposition for the alumni association, for the institute, who is going to be your paying customer, let's say economic buyer. You need to familiarize yourself with this terminology: economic buyer, technical decision maker, user, consumer. All this stuff I've covered in the third volume in the positioning volume. But the point is, your primary buyer, your economic buyer, the primary value proposition for the university or the institute is fundraising.
Fair enough.
Yeah? So as the moment you shift your mind to fundraising being the primary motivation for the institutes, your whole equation of how much people are willing to pay to manage a large endowment changes. You can charge them a lot more money than you think you can sitting there in India, because these guys are now raising the sizes of endowments that a Harvard or an MIT or a Stanford is raising. And that's, so think about it. If you can charge 50 institutes, 50 American institutes, $1 million each a year, you have a business. You have a very solid business, and then you can do all your other stuff using that as your primary offering. And then you have to do the other things. You have to manage the chapter. You have to have an offering for the chapters, which are volunteer run without IT support. So that's, you need to product market. You need to understand the specs for your product for the chapter products separately, and you need to understand the consumer value proposition, which is where I think you have spent a lot of time in understanding the consumer's needs of networking, of job search, of internship search, or professional networking, blah blah blah. It's the LinkedIn plus kind of value proposition. That part I think you have understood, but that's not the people who are paying.
Very
The
true.
chapter's need, by the way, is dues-paying members. We have struggled with this in the MIT Club of Northern California. We have 9,000 members in Silicon Valley area. In the Bay Area, we have 9,000 members. And we have a very small segment of that that actually are dues-paying members. So the chapter needs to figure out how to incentivize the
Okay.
end consumers, how the alumni, local alumni, how to pay. And why would they want to pay? Now, if you can deliver a LinkedIn++, that's a proprietary solution for all the chapters, there is a reason for consumers to pay. See what I'm saying?
True.
So this is very promising. Listen to what I'm saying, it's very promising. All of these value propositions actually check out. It's a real problem and you have a real solution. But you have to architect that solution right and you have to sell it right and you have to price it right.
Okay.
Alright?
All right.
Good idea.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Let me know.
Hi Shramana,
Hello.
I'm Sarabjit Singh. I recently graduated from IIT Kharagpur in May this year, and I run this portal called Let Me Know, and we inform the youth, particularly college students and young professionals, about opportunities, competitions, scholarships, etc. So what's the need? We realize that awareness levels in the Indian youth community are low. Students miss out on opportunities, organizers miss out on talent. I personally lost out on a lot of opportunities because I just didn't know about it. Next slide, please. So we said, we'll create a portal where we, share opportunities with the youth, be it in technology, cultural, social innovation, literary, entrepreneurship, scholarships, fellowships. There's no one place which exists for all these things. We said there are thousands of Google groups, newspapers, Times of India has an Education Times, and there are a lot of blogs, websites. So we saw all these websites and we said that there's just too many things, there's just too much information. We need to put this information into 5 lines for each opportunity. Tell the person which category, what is the deadline, so that he can make the decision in 5 minutes. Next slide, please. So that's how we unique. We are putting all these opportunities in one place. We are saying that every opportunity, we sit down, we summarize each opportunity into 5 lines, and we say that the user can make a decision in 2 minutes. And we cover a lot.
Wait.
Did somebody press mute or something?
Sorry.
Okay. Next slide, please. So we have a lot of features on our portal right now. All kinds of social media, RSS feeds, email subscription. We have feature spaces. User can put in opportunities. We're getting a lot of opportunities from users who are suggesting that we want to publicize on your portal. We have an advanced search, and we've integrated with, you can search by deadlines, you can search by categories, you can search by interest. We have related opportunities. Next slide, please. So till now, we're like running more like a volunteer organization. All of us are students and recent graduates. I run this portal and I have 4 teams working with me, and they handle 4 different departments. Most of them are students, and there's a few young professionals, and they're all like working part-time. All of us are working part-time and volunteering for this organization. Next slide, please. Yeah. So, but in the last 10 months, we've achieved a good number of page views of 7 lakhs, and we've got 1.5 lakhs unique visitors. We've got a lot of good feedback where most people have said that that they didn't know of these opportunities, and now we also spoke to this Business Today conference, which is organized in Princeton, and we actually spoke to the organizers and asked that how many people applied. So they said there are like 5 to 10 seats for people to come here and meet great social entrepreneurs, and there were just 15 people who applied from India in the last 2 to 3 years, and that's just because people don't know about it, and that's the barrier that we want to break. Right now we are getting like some small number of page views of around 3,500 per day. Next slide, please. So now we're looking at, we've impacted around 1.5 lakh unique visitors, and we want to achieve the aim of reaching 500,000 5 lakhs in the next 1 year. We want to expand across content, increase, use all forms of media and information dissemination. Maybe make the portal more like a news website where the content gets updated, the experience is more engaging. But we don't know, what's the best answer to this question, or how do we go about it, in what order do we do all these things? Next slide, please.